What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Fridge Financials video. And in today's video, we're talking about student loans and retirement. Now, normally, these two topics go separately. Student loans is paying down debt, retirement is saving up money to be able to retire. One goes up, while hopefully the other one goes down. And in today's video, we actually have a new act that's starting to come into play that I didn't really know about, but recently has been surfacing on my Yahoo Finance page about how they are actually going to combine student loans with retirement here. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Obviously, it's free of charge, of course, and hopefully you do like the content I'm putting out here for you guys with all the information, knowledge, and everything else. And as a reminder, general perspective, these are all my insights, my viewpoints, and data I look at here. So feel free always to leave in the comments section any of your comments, any of your ideas, your viewpoints, perspectives. I'd love to hear them down below in the comment section. So this Yahoo Finance article says, paying off a student loan, your company could match that money in your 401k. And that piqued my interest because I've never heard of such a thing. That's never been a thing, really, right? So this article was updated Saturday, June 15th. So a couple days ago is when I'm recording this video here. And it talks about how student loan borrowers stressed over choosing between paring down student loan debt and saving up for retirement just got some relief. If you work for an employer that offers a 401k, 403b, or a similar workplace plan, there's a new option rolling out this year that could help you save for retirement and pay off student loans in one fell swoop. So while you're paying down your debt, you're also building up that retirement. How cool is that? Didn't know this was even a thing, but again, this act, this Secure 2.0 Act, which we're going to talk about a little bit more, has been talked about recently, I believe at the end of last year, and some of the things are starting to kick into effect at the start of this year. So we'll talk about it a little bit more, we'll read into it, and kind of go from there. Employees can now consider student loan payments as qualifying contributions towards retirement plan matching programs thanks to the Secure 2.0 Act, which included a package of retirement-related provisions aimed at ratcheting up savings. Okay. The student debt retirement provision is particularly exciting as it directly addresses retirement savings, which is one of the top areas we see many borrowers are forced to cut back on due to their student debt. So again, essentially, when you have debt, you got to pay down the debt with those higher interest rates of like 10%, whatever it is. If you have all this $1,000 of debt, you can't save up for retirement when you're using that money that you would put into it to then pay down debt instead. So just one thing to kind of make note of on that, which is kind of what they're talking about here. It means that workers no longer need to choose. They can do both things at once. And to me, very interesting. Never thought this would even be a possibility as a program here, but it seems like it is coming into full effect here. Young professionals often put off saving for retirement in order to deal with what's more urgent and tangible financial concerns like debt and short-term expenses. Missing out on the earliest years of a 401k contribution and the resulting compound interest can significantly hinder their 401k balances down the line. And that right there in itself is the reason as to why you hear a lot of people talk about saving early, investing early. We want to get that retirement money up. You got to start putting away money early on. 18, 19, 20 years old, start to do some investing, start to put it into a Roth IRA, a 401k, a 403b. Because compound interest is what they always say is the eighth wonder of the world. Albert Einstein always says that, or always did say that, and it is very, very true. Because if you don't know, compound interest is the longer and longer you have money in this account, you're going to get this more exponential growth in your portfolio with your returns and everything else. So it's very, very early to see. At the very, very beginning, you won't really see much change at the beginning of the years, but once you get to those later and later years, you'll see more and more change as it goes. So very interesting. Here's how it works. If your employer provides a match to your retirement plan contributions and you're paying down your student loan, you can count the monthly student loan payments as your contribution to your employer provided retirement account. Okay. Provisions in the retirement law make it possible for employers to earn a tax break on that type of match. The precise matching formula, however, and whether the employer offers it, it depends on the employer. Now, so not all employers are offering this right now. It's only some employers are offering it. But again, as you will see here, why would companies want to do it? Because of a nice tax break they get here, because of retirement law. Because again, they're contributing money towards your retirement. So they're giving you money. They're matching what your student loan payment is. And then they get a tax break as a result. And as we know, big corporations, big companies, tax breaks are always really nice to have. The details are still being worked out at companies, but in general, you can make contributions to your retirement account, then add in the student loan amount up to your employer's full match, which generally ranges between 4 to 6% of your salary. So again, really, really nice. But again, you can make contributions and then add the student loan amount up to your employer's full match, which is really, really nice. It's a potential game changer talks about here. The average federal student loan debt balance is $37,088, and the average student loan payment is between $200 and $300 about every single month. So imagine if you are paying in $200 a month of student loans, and then your employer is matching that, again, up to 4 to 6%, depending on what the company is. Then they take that and they're able to say, hey, we're going to match that and put it into your retirement account for you. So the $200 that you can't afford to put in your retirement account, they're going to put in basically for you as a quote-unquote match. Pretty nice. Meanwhile, a whopping 64% of employees report that student loan debt has a negative impact on their ability to save for retirement. Yep. I mean, that's, again, loans, debt, all those kind of things, very, very true. It adds this financial stress, this financial anxiety that people have when you have debt. So you have, negative balances. You have all these different things that create this stress and anxiety, and it makes you, freak out and be worried about what the future is going to look like for you financially. If you can afford food sometimes, you can afford a house, or you can afford a roof over your head, I should say. So obviously, student loan debt has that negative ability for the impact and everything else. And nearly a quarter of workers would be enticed to switch jobs if a prospective employer offered a student loan 401k matching program. Because again, not all companies do that. It's not guaranteed that you get a job, you're going to get a 401k match. I wish my school did that. I don't know if other schools do. If you're a teacher and you're watching this, leave it in the comment section below. I don't know if schools do it with a 403b account. I feel like they don't, but if some school does, that'd be awesome. But they don't match us at all. So we just have to, we just put money into it. Match is attractive for workers of all ages. Employers offering a 401k match for workers paying off student loans will be quite attractive to the younger generation. Quoted by Olivia S. Mitchell. More than 6 in 10 workers with a retirement account who are between the ages of 20 and 29 have a student loan, and more than half of those between 30 and 39 do. As we know, student loans are kicking around for years, not just 1 or 2 years, might be 10 years, 15 years. So people in the ages of 20 to 29 have the bigger student loan debt balances because they just finished up college, and 30 to 39 they still have student loan debt, but it's not as high, or hopefully it's not as high as you would think. And also, older workers may benefit from me money. We found that 1/3 of workers from 40 to 49 still have student loans and access to retirement accounts, and a quarter of those from 50 to 59 do so as well. So even with these people that have student loans and they've deferred their payments or whatever, or they're trying to pay it off slowly but surely, this still can help out to anybody. So it covers basically anybody that basically has a student loan. This is going to help out essentially, which is really, really good. Since the passing of Secure 2.0, Fidelity has seen a surge in demand for the student debt retirement benefit from all types of employers, from large employers with a national presence to smaller companies. There are possible drawbacks. For employers, it could be an expensive proposition to match student debt payments. Which, again, because, some people have like $500 payments, $600 payments, a month. So it could get more expensive, of course. Plus, plan service providers must also build a new system to make this feasible in practice, insofar as they need new plumbing to keep the account straight and confirm the loan payments. So what they talk about is you have to have a qualified student loan payment. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, I made a student loan payment. Like, you have to have actual proof, evidence. You gotta make sure it's airtight, it's locked, it's sealed, and for a fact that it's qualified payment, so people don't try to cheat the system here. So I think what they're referring to here is that they have to figure out the system and make sure it accounts for everything, and make sure that there's no gaps, there's no issues, there's no troublesome going on their end as well. Because again, that means that they could be losing more money if people aren't making student loan payments but say that they are. So there are those things we got to be paying a little bit more money towards them, and also you got to make sure that it's airtight, locked, sealed, like have a lawyer go through it and everything else. So that's kind of a potential drawback, it looks like, for the employer side. For employees, the push to pay off loans with the comfort of knowing that something is being socked away for retirement thanks to their employer's match can make retirement savings less of a priority. So again, if I'm sitting there saying, I want to build my retirement up now, and I'm like, oh, I don't have to put up more money. I don't have to put more money into my retirement because my employer's already doing it for me. Again, it could turn people off from making retirement savings less of a priority. Because, if your employer's putting money in, you're like, I don't need it. I got this employer here, Employees may repay more loan debt, but reduce their retirement plan contributions, and that's a worry. So, something to think about here in retrospect. So we looked into this a little bit more of this. I have a couple more articles kind of covered and recap here. So again, what is the Secure 2.0 Act? So this is from time.com. A 2023 Federal Reserve survey found that almost 3/4 of adults who aren't retired have at least some retirement savings. Well, that's good. However, 28%, up from 25% in 2021, have none whatsoever. So 28% have almost no retirement whatsoever. Like nothing. Not a 401k, not a 403b, not a Roth, not any of that stuff. At the same time, fewer than 1/3 of those who aren't retired feel their retirement savings are on track, down from 40% in 2021. Now, again, with this survey talking about inflation and increasing costs and expenses and everything else, as we know that prices continue to go up as time goes on because of after the pandemic session that we had, which was crazy. We're down from 40% people think they're on track to 31%. So you've lost 9% of people. 9% is not like, it's not like it's like 2%, whatever. 9% is, you're looking at a good amount of people who have said that they're not on track now because of everything going on. Lower savings combined with longer lifespans are fueling a retirement security crisis in the U.S. The Secure 2.0 Act is the government's latest attempt to improve retirement outcomes for millions of Americans. And again, this article talks about, what it qualifies for. There's the employer match that we're talking about here with your student loan debt and everything else. So it kind of goes into a lot more. I don't want to go through all this kind of thing here. You can look at time.com and just look up Secure 2.0 Act, and it covers everything here for you. It's actually right here, the student loan matching contributions. So it's not just, the Secure 2.0 is not just student loan matching only for retirement. It's other things built into it as well to help bolster those retirement numbers, make us feel more secure about retirement and everything else. This also right here was a really interesting thing to talk about retirement readiness report. And these numbers are kind of scary, to be honest. How would you rate your financial wellness on a scale 1 to 5? We're looking at, more than half are at about middle or less. So only 40%, so less than half are feeling pretty financially stable. Which again, I think these days it's probably these numbers will be a little bit more differently. Again, the thing with numbers that we have to understand every single time, as someone who was with numbers every single day during the school year, is you got to take them with a grain of salt, only because you don't know who's being surveyed. You're not sure who they're accounting for. You're not sure who they're asking. It's data, but it's not just like automatically, here's the picture. It has to be 40%. Maybe it's 38%, maybe it's 45%, maybe it's 50%. We don't really know, but we're basing it off of surveys and data that they do from here. Biggest financial stressors, inflation, of course, credit card debt, mortgage debt, medical, student loan debt, 15%. So those are some bigger ones. Obviously, inflation is a killer one for us, as we know. Have feelings of anxiety around your finances. More than half the people surveyed said yes. Again, probably because, with bills and loans and everything else. So my point of looking through these numbers here is just showing that, like, their point of this act is to try to lower these numbers here, to try to boost your financial security, to try to lower the anxiety and to boost the retirement and everything else. This graph right here is very, very interesting to read. Let me zoom in here. So there's two graphs here. How much money you think you'll need to support a retirement, how much money you actually expect to have saved up for retirement. So as you take a look here, a majority of people, you're looking at, so 6% think they need less than 50K. 10% think they need between 50 and 100. 23% between 100 and 500. 26% between 500 and a million. 25% between $1 million and $5 million. This is probably on the lower end, I would guess. And then a very, very small percentages of people that are looking at 5 million plus. But look at the numbers for how much they actually expect. 23% expect less than 50,000. 20% less than 100,000. 26% between 100 and 500, and then it just slowly drops off from there. So there's more people. So people are more optimistic to have between 100 and $1 million, 100,000 and $1 million right here, or even 100 to 5 million, I guess. But the majority of the percentages of people who actually expect how much they're going to have for retirement is so much less. You're looking at 43% between 0 and 100K. That's a crazy graph to me to look at. So as we know, people know they need a lot for retirement. They want this much for retirement, but they're not getting it from what they estimate from when they did the survey here. So in the retirements, emergency funds, how long have you had your emergency fund? More than 2 years is good. So these numbers look pretty all right. Why did you tap into your emergency fund? This talks about other things as well. Student loan, again, debt, 13% between education and student loan debt. Definitely, again, paying down student loan debt, of course, as you know. Why don't you have an emergency fund? I don't have enough funds to build one. I don't think I need one. I don't know how to start one. These are all just things to look at, which is just very, very interesting. They're looking at gender differences here. Again, there's more graphs about instability, anxiety, everything else. that's quitting. Let me see if there's anything else here for what financial benefits would entice you to leave your job. 59% would say a 401k matching program, hence the Secure 2.0 Act. 48% an employer-sponsored emergency fund, a 401k retirement account, But that's, again, really, really interesting to think about. And let's see if there's anything else here. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you measure your company's current commitment to supporting financial wellness? That's a whole different thing. Again, wanting to have that employee match program is very, very crucial, as you will see here. And you can look through this more and more and more. There's a lot of data here behind it. I just always like to look at this kind of stuff. 40% of employees currently have student loan debt. How much do they owe? And as you will see, we're looking at a majority is, the biggest one is between 10 and 50,000. So a lot of people are paying down student loan debt. Again, now it's down. It's at 1.76 trillion in student loan debt. So this employee match program could definitely help. What types of sacrifices did employees make in order to get ready to restart their student loan payments? Because again, student loan payments kicked in last year. I believe it was October of 2023 after they were paused with those rates and everything else because of inflation or because of the pandemic. 44% of so these are all the things they're cutting down on. And 44% have cut down on dining, 34% is getting on vacation, 23% had to lower the amount they invest, 19%, which again is that thing that we're talking about this article here, 19% have had to pause or lower their contributions to their retirement account. That's almost a fifth of the people in the survey had to reduce their retirement account to pay their student loans. There's the problem right there also. Because again, you're not building up that financial wellness, you're not building up that financial stability, you're not building up that retirement account that you want to do, and everything else. And so, yeah, that is absolutely insane. So, just some numbers to look at as to what the point of this act is. So, if you made this fun the video, of course, thank you so much. And if you are watching still and you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe down below. It is free of charge, of course. You'll say subscribe at the bottom. We're at 163 subscribers, so we're on track to get to 200 hopefully by the end of the year, which would be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you learned something new. So yeah, there's this new student loan matching 401k program coming into play for certain employers. Very interesting. If you're watching this, you have student loans, maybe your employer might offer this soon. So be on the lookout for that one. Any questions, of course, or any feedback or perspectives, make sure to leave them down in the comment section as per usual. I hope you guys are making money in the market still, because I know by the time we're recording this, the market is closed today because of Juneteenth. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video.